Good morning and welcome to Order Up, the Final Order Cutoff show. Today we're going to be talking about comics that are on Final Order Cutoff this Monday, January 26th. There are some incredible new series, some amazing ongoings, and some unbelievable collected editions. On that note, we have a great special guest, so you're going to want to tune in and stay with us after this opener for an awesome show.
Hi everyone, I'm Mathias Lewis, and I'm here to talk to you about FOC, or Final Order Cutoff. It is the last chance that we, the comic retailers, have to finalize our orders for comics releasing roughly 3 to 6 weeks out from the Mondays we finalize our orders. We deal with this every Monday, but this is important to you, the consumer, because it is the perfect time to reach out to your local comic shop if you want any specific or guaranteed items. If you want the Jim Lee or Dan Mora covers of Justice League Unlimited, reach out to your local comic shop and let us know. If you want the new issue of Lilo and Stitch, this is the perfect time to tell us. Because as long as you can get us the orders before Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that will give your local comic shop retailer enough time to finalize that order, adding in whatever it is you want, so they can guarantee when it releases, we have a copy set aside waiting for you. So, always reach out to your local comic shop before 6 p.m. on Mondays with the comics you want. The sooner, the better, to guarantee they're waiting for you.
All right, and this week we're going to be talking about comics on Final Order Cutoff on Monday, January 26th. There's some awesome ones. I know you're going to have some incredibly hot takes on some of these, Kyle, but I think that it'll be a fun FOC week.
It's going to be one of those weeks, guys, where like producer Kyle rolls his eyes and his head starts to turn red, and then he talks for 10 minutes about Frank Miller. It's one of those. Just be prepared. Get your popcorn and your soda ready. It's coming, okay? Just be warned.
Awesome. Well, we have an incredible guest, but before we get to that, I want to remind everyone of the 2 key websites to check out all the comics on Final Order Cutoff this week, because we're just going to talk about the highlights. So, if you're a fan of Marvel, IDW, Dark Horse, Distillery, Boom Studios, Ignition Press, Square Enix, Kodansha, and others, those are all distributed by Penguin Random House. And so the best place to check out what's on FOC is prhcomics.com. It's this beautiful website you see here, all sorts of flashy graphics, but you know what? They keep it directly on the FOC, with the very first thing being right there, FOC for this week. Clicking that will bring you over to this wonderfully organized page. We always like to sort of A to Z, so you can see all of those comics on FOC. But if you're a fan of DC, Image Comics, Oni Press, Dynamite, and so many others, you're not going to really find them on this page. You're going to want to go through their distributor, lunardistribution.com. By clicking on lunardistribution.com, you will see this wonderful page, and you got to scroll a little bit down to the upcoming FOC and make sure you're clicked on the right date. But there you can see a wide range of amazing comics offered through this distribution service. And between the 2 websites, you'll be able to find just about everything you want to let your local comic shop know before they have to finalize their orders. Now, that said, talking about comics you're going to want to let your local comic shop know you want to order. Our guest this week is a comic shop owner, an educator, an editor, and a writer. She has done amazing books like Good Boy, Broken Gargoyle, Mysterium, Postmasters, Christmas Caroline, and others. But perhaps one of her most classic was The Dark Tale of the Damnation of Charlie Wormwood. I am honored to welcome Dr. Christina Blanche.
You name all that stuff. Oh, she's an EXP OG. She launched with us just
Oh,
over 5 years ago. So, like, we can't leave out her most important credit. She put up with me for a while.
Hi guys, how are you? Let me get my camera set here a little bit.
doing
It's
good.
a
How are you doing, Dr. Blanche?
doing great. I should have had that all ready to go. I'm great. How are you guys?
It's a Friday morning, so we are fresh from FOC, I think an hour into finalization.
Yeah, I love FOC weeks. Or days. I just love it. Seeing everything that comes out. I notice there's like this absolute Batman. Is that a big title right now?
I mean, it is outselling everything else in my store, but I mean, maybe that's just me.
It's not as good
I,
as
I
Absolute
have.
Martian Manhunter.
Oh no, that's absolute my favorite. My favorite is Absolute Martian Manhunter. I that it will win all the awards. It's not even a contest. So good. Um, I have. We just celebrated our starting our 11th year at All Yeah Comics, and which, yay, but I have never seen anything like this Absolute series. I just I just don't even. It's just amazing.
I mean, I was actually having a discussion yesterday that I am now 28 years in retail and looking over it. I can't name. I wanted to compare it to like when Jeff Johns really blew up. I wanted to compare it to Brian Michael Bendis and the Ultimates with Miller, and nothing touches it. Where I continuously, every single issue, up my order more than I had originally.
Every single time. And number one, everything's still selling. And we have the trades back behind the counter where you check out, and they're like Pokemon packs anymore. People go, "Oh yeah, and throw in one of those absolute Batmans." And I'm like, "Okay, just throw in that Wonder Woman," which is also, oh my gosh, you're all so good. Anyway, I know that's not what we're here to talk about, but that just blows my mind. So
Well, no, I mean,
love it.
partially what we're here because I mean, you being a comic book retailer, you're somebody who partakes in final order cutoff. Um,
Hmm.
Before we dive into your lengthy array of amazing work, I mean, what is your perspective as a retailer on final order cutoff and the usage with your customers?
Oh, we push it, we talk about it. I post pictures, we post pictures over the weekend so that people can look and go, oh yeah, that's on there, that's on there. We really push. We use Comic Hub, so it's got a great website attached to it where they can just go to last call and everything is there for them and they can add it very easily. But we really push that because if you can't get in here on a Wednesday, or something like Ultimate Spider-Man or Absolute Batman happens where we think we did okay ordering the book. We're like, not that many people are on it. How big is it going to be? We thought we over ordered. Uh, very wrong. Uh, but if put that down and then there you go. You are guaranteed a copy. That's what we always say. You're guaranteed a copy unless there's a huge problem. Like the blind bags. But you're but you're guaranteed a copy, and I love it. I know that it well, I can get into that when we talk about what we're here for, but it hurts when things aren't on final order, I think.
I 100% agree. But on that, something that everyone needs to reach out to their local comic shop and order is your new graphic novel. Can you talk to us a little bit
Oh,
about the Damnation of Charlie Wormwood?
I can. This is actually not even, it's not like new, but this is the first time it's been on FOC. Because before, when it came out through Source Point Press, FOC, they weren't, the company was, comics have changed so much. uh, we used to have to do initial orders. Um, and it was only on initial order, which a lot of people miss. So this being on FOC it's a big deal, because people now will see it. So very important. But yeah, so this is it. This is the very first book that I wrote. It was an experiment. I was doing a lot of uh, you know commentary about comics when I was getting my doing my dissertation, and I realized I can read all the books I want about things, but it doesn't mean I know what it's like to experience. Like if I read a book on brain surgery, I would hope no one would trust me to try it out, you know. So and a lot of things I was reading, I thought this just doesn't seem right. So I decided I needed to experience it. And so my friend Chris Carr and I had taught in prison for about 8 years, and the program had just shut down, but we would get together and have coffee and just catch up. And we had all these great stories about prison, you know, and we didn't know what to do with it. So I was like, hey, let's do a comic. I need to write one to see what it's like. We've got this great stuff. Let's do it. So we did, and we pitched it to Thrillbent, and they liked it. And we found Chi, who was amazing, and found our letterer Troy, and it just all kind of came together. Unfortunately, Chris had to go and get a real job, so it kind of fell off of the writing. But I continued, and he was still integral in the entire thing because I wouldn't have done it I don't think I would have done this without him. Um, and so he was very, very important in it, as is Chi with the art. It's, you know, the first time you see Charlie, it's like, and then Francesco Francavilla did this beautiful cover. Oh, he is one of my absolute favorites. So I was just ecstatic when he agreed to do
A
this.
stunning cover. And I mean, as much as I love Francavilla, Chi's interiors are equally as powerful and emotionally driven in there that just you get a sense of the character's personality and intent in the art. And that's not something you always get in comics.
No, he is such a wonderful storyteller. And people say, but it's black and white. And I'm like, no, it's not black and white. It's it's amazing. It's perfect. I don't even know what I would think about it in color. I think it adds kind of to the, you know, the grittiness and the kind of it's not really noir. I mean, it is dark. I mean, the name is not the happy-go-lucky life of Charlie Wormwood, you know. But it is dark. But and this scene right here, so this is great. This is a chit board. It's what they call it. I would always say, you know, don't forget to flip your chit. So I know that's kind of dorky, but we would all be assigned a number every day when we went in, and we had to flip that over. And that's the only record there was that we were in that building. And some days I would totally forget my number, and I'm like, oh, what was the number I had? Because they changed every time. So I would just guess, flip it over. Don't do that. Um, but they actually used this in one of the criminology courses at Ball State because there's no like real record of this. You know, it's just something that happens. Nobody really documents it. So they actually have used this in a classroom before too.
That's awesome. So, for those not familiar, can you tell us a little bit about the story of the damnation of Charlie Wormwood, who he is, why he's involved in a prison, and perhaps even how some of that came from your real life experiences?
Yeah. So as I said, you know, I taught in prison for many years. So a lot of they would write about their lives in their papers, or we would have breaks, but you couldn't really go anywhere. So our break was just 15 minutes of sitting there. And I would hear them talking, or they'd tell me stories. And it was all new to me because, you know, they once asked me what gang I was in, and I was like, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood gang. I mean, uh, this was all new to me. So it was really eye opening. And so in this story, the story is about Charlie, and he's a teacher. He teaches in prison. You don't get paid that much, and it's very stressful. And he also has a sick child, a very, very sick child. And so they're behind on bills. Their insurance is been cut at some point in the story. So everything is going badly. And he, as an instructor in the correctional system, gets an offer that he's not really doing anything bad, you know, but it's not good, but he can walk that line that things are going to happen anyway, so I might as well make some money on it. um, and so it's kind of him deciding how he can say, well, this isn't exactly good, but it's okay in this situation. He can, always, making excuses for his behavior. But this is his sick little boy. I loved this panel, this just with the hand touching. Oh, she is so good. But and it's his trip, his descent into kind of maybe finding out who he really is and realizing it's not that great of a person. But all of the stories in here, the back, so Chi was also brilliant. We decided that we were going to have these stories, that the prisoners would tell us, that our students would tell us in just line art, black and white. And the majority of those stories are all true. They've been cleaned up a bit. I know it doesn't seem like it, but they have been cleaned up a bit. But they're all stories that were told to either myself or Chris, by our students.
So I have to ask in that, I mean, after this book was published, because I remember this being a digital first book, I want to say
Hmm.
around early 2014 was when I discovered it before Dynamite picked it up.
Yes.
And then it ended up at Source Point Press, where we were getting a new FOC on this trade paperback. Have you run into the tale of any of your former students or Chris's former students reading this and noting their stories?
No, no. I see some of my students all the time. I live in Muncie, and every so often somebody will walk by the window and go, "Hey, is that Dr. Blanche?" And I'm like, "Oh, hi." So I've seen some people around, but no, the I know a few people that have read it. In fact, Jennifer Chrisman, she taught in the system also, and she has a quote in the back. She's read it. A lot of the teachers have read it, things like that. But no students. In fact, the one of the main characters in the story, he sadly passed away. Um, that we kind of based one of the characters on.
It's very interesting.
Not 100% his life. It's just kind of like he was our inspiration. So.
So, as you do this for a living, if somebody had never read The Damnation of Charlie Wormwood and you're at the register, you're trying to
Mhm.
give a quick pitch on why they want to pick up this graphic novel, what is your sell for this story?
I am so bad at selling my own books. I can sell everything else. I am. Uh it's Breaking Bad is kind of what I get. I had not, when I was writing this, I had not watched Breaking Bad. I it was so I had seen the aftermath of meth in so many of my students that I just couldn't think about watching a show about, something that is, I just couldn't do it. Then after I kind of got past that, I was like, I want to watch it, but a lot of people were telling me that the story was very similar to Breaking Bad, like that same vein. And I was like, oh, well, now I can't watch it until I'm done with the writing. So I binged it after I was finished writing this, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's like perfection. We're good. I'll never write anything that good. Oh my gosh, Breaking Bad's so brilliant. Um, Better Call Saul is so brilliant also. But that's kind of what I would pitch. Other people, I'm sure, are much better. I have trouble selling my own books. I'll talk people out of it. Oh, just we'll always have this. Go get this, you know. But I would say it's very Breaking Bad.
Well, something I'm also very curious about. You have co-written a number of books.
Hmm.
What is co-writing like for you when you approach something like this or Good Boy or one of the other many incredible comics you've co-written with awesome co-authors?
It just depends on the person. With this one, we wrote the first few um, issues for online, which are very shorter. They're shorter. uh Chris and I just like got on the phone and wrote them together. And then it ended up I would write it and then he would read it. And then I just was sending it in. So that was a little bit different. When Garrett and I would write together, it would be usually he would, what did he always call it? He would word vomit. We would talk about something And then he would word vomit on the page, and then I would make sense of it. So, and then, it just kind of goes back and forth. Sometimes we would say, okay, you're writing this guy, I'll write this guy. So it's like in Good Boy Volume 2, all of the flashbacks, he was just like, write those. So I was like, okay. So all of those were, because it kind of had to be, it was like a different feel than the rest of the book. So we would, it's kind of just a little, little bits here and there. With Broken Gargoyles with Bob Sally, he's the reason, Bob is the reason that I quit teaching and decided to do comics full time. When he came to me, I was making a decision whether I wanted to teach or have the shop and write. I had to do one or the other. It was driving me, I was like, I was stressing myself out. And I said, I'm going to teach. That's it. I'm going to be practical for once in my life. I'm going to be practical. And then Bob Sally called me and said, hey, I want to do Broken Gargoyles Volume 2, but they said I need to have you co-write it with me. And I was like, that's a sign. Okay. So I went with comics. And thank goodness. Thank you, Bob. That was a different thing too. We would both get online at the same time, with an open document and just go back and forth. And then if we would get ideas, we'd put them down or make, so it's different with every, single one. I just wrote We Eat Gods, or this just came out. Garrett and I had come up with the idea and we wrote a little bit about it, but we kind of had different ideas about it. So when the first version of Source Point Press was there, when after it went away, we got some of our stuff back and we split up our properties. So it's all completely different. It just got the same main character, Ray's, who is adorable. That one was just, me writing it, and it just kind of depends. Sometimes, you like to write things back and forth, and some things every writing experience is different. I do it differently every single time. Sometimes I start at the beginning, sometimes I start at the end, sometimes the middle. It just, everything's different.
Well, it's crazy to think that over 10 years ago, The Damnation of Charlie Wormwood was your very first comic, because it is a masterpiece out the gate.
Thank you.
So it is nice that we have the opportunity for anyone to discover it brand new or rediscover it with this great trade paperback that is on FOC this week. But if people want to see where you are now with writing, what are some modern things you were working and where can we find those?
So We Eat Gods we just got it out. It has a barcode. Look how cute they are. They're so cute. This is going to be available. We're working on it. So right now it's just available from us at All Yeah Comics in Muncie. But we're working on getting this distributor out a little bit more. I do have some news about this. It has actually been optioned by by Patriot Pictures, which is weird because I don't have an agent or anything. I was just, they found me, which is kind of cool. The president read it and loved it, and I thought that was great. So it has been optioned. So hopefully it will be coming somewhere soon. You never know what's going to happen with that. Lots of things are optioned and nothing ever happens. So I haven't really said anything. And then this year at San Diego, they put out a thing that said coming soon to the big screen, and I was like, so my camera kind of got weird.
Yeah, the focus on our server has been a little odd with the new update.
Okay.
But that's amazing. So people have the advantage. Get your reach out to your local comic shop, get an order in before this Monday, and then you can read the comic before it's on the big screen.
Yeah, because these are all the like first prints of this, and there's only, I don't know how many there are left, but we'll always do a second printing, but these are all the very first ones that they found. So
yeah, beautiful Francavilla cover on there too.
Oh my goodness, yes.
All right. So when people inevitably order, read, and fall in love with this and want more from Dr. Christie, where can people find you online? Where can people learn more about your upcoming books?
I'm on Facebook at Dr. Christina Blanche and Christy Blanche on Instagram. Always at Oh Yeah Comics Muncie. We're always there. We do shows on Facebook on Monday nights. We're all over the place. So if you can't find us, look harder. Christy Blanche. So it's so good. I love this book. It didn't even, it's just, it's unbelievable that it's on FOC. I'm really happy about that. It FOC is so important for people who think it isn't. This book was not on FOC. I know it would have done better there. Broken Gargoyles, when it came out, volume one missed FOC and it started on volume two. That hurts, you know. Um, FOC is so important. So everybody get those orders into your store. It helps you and it helps your store, which helps comics in general. And we want comics to flourish.
Absolutely. Looks like we got
So
Kyle.
Hi,
yeah, no.
Kyle.
So Doc needs to plug what we do in the comic shop. What we do in the shop. Your
Oh,
sales show.
yeah. So this is my agent. No, I'm just kidding.
Mhm. No,
Yeah.
listen. If I'm going to send my reel in to direct the Charlie Wormwood movie, you gotta work on self promotion here. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So on Monday nights we have on. Right now it's on Facebook and YouTube. What we do in the comic shop. Yes, it's named after What We Do in the Shadows because I love that movie so much, and the show, both of them. So it's what we do in the comic shop on Monday nights. Right now we're just doing one a month, but we'll get back to every Monday night. It's just the holidays were just crazy. Um, we are trying to do a lot. We're trying to be more better about our presence online. It's just hard because it's just Jeff and I in the shop, and as you know, that you both know, there's so much to do, and it's just always something, and then you put the writing in on top of it, and I'm an idiot. I just keep buying more back issues, and we just got this huge golden age collection in, and it's so beautiful, but it's taking me so long to go through them because I I'm like, I'm holding this sensation comics going, it's just so cool and I want to read it, and it's just taken me way too long, just because if I didn't love comics as much as I did it would be easy, but I'm just like, this is mine right now, full well knowing I have to sell it, but it's okay.
Is
It's
there is
so
there go
much.
is there going to be a 2026 Muncie Comic Con?
Oh yeah, I guess I should talk about that too. um Thank you, Kyle. Yes, so this is our fifth year. Can you believe that, Kyle? Our
I
fifth
can't,
year of
but
Muncie Comic Con.
I can't believe that
Um,
you've done 5 and I haven't made it yet.
I know. Well, this year it's going to be awesome. We actually have two buildings this year because it just we're running out of we ran out of room. We have so many wonderful special guests we're getting ready to announce, but I mean, I can tell you that Art and Franco are going to be there. So they've Franco has never been here. Art's been here before, but they've never been here together. And it's an experience if you've never seen Art and Franco together. It's just perfection. It's just happiness in a 20-foot area. And I believe Philip Kennedy Johnson is returning. We always have Kyle Starks and Tom Zoller and Stuart Sager and Gavin Smith. Um, we'll have, I guess I'll just say it. We're going to announce it on the pages. We're going to have Andy Price and Katie Cook. So it's going to be a really big show this year. A lot more vendors. We're trying to get some other special stuff. So fifth year, we kind of got to go all out. I didn't think it would last a year, but it did. So, and it's great. So, and all the little grandbabies are there running around, which is they're so nerdy. I love it so much. They've made my closet is the bat cave. So there's a bat computer in there. I'm like, it's yeah, here's our clothes and then here's a bat computer. So, there you go. So it's awesome. Yeah. but it's great. We will have We at Gods will be for sale there. Rachel Klein, the artist, will also be there. Um, this book is so good. It's a happier, it's a apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic, but it's a happy version. So
All right. So what are the dates for
oh,
the
I'm sorry, I'm so bad at this. April April 18th. It's just a 1 day show, and it's kind of tough getting people here for a 1 day show in Muncie, Indiana, but it's it's such a good show. We have so many people, and people just love this, and it's all comic book dealers and comic book artists, and our artist alley. We're gonna have a comic book boulevard and an artist alley, because I want one area that's just like all comic, 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 comic. So I'm like, we can change things up. It's our show. We can do, we can name something, you know. Somebody had to be the first time for Artist Alley somewhere. So we're having Comic Book Boulevard. And then we'll have Artist Alley. So yeah, it's gonna be great.
Very
I
cool.
can't believe I forgot that, because I can't. It's like so, like, I've got so much to do. Again, it's just the two of us doing it all. So
it's
uh,
comic? There's never enough time in the day.
I know. So yeah.
Well,
What
thank
else
you.
did I forget, Kyle?
Oh yeah.
I'm
Now you
sure
can
there's something that even I'm forgetting, and I'm sure Jeff will be like, "You guys forgot this."
Yeah, I know.
So
But yeah, but get this book. It's awesome. It really is a good book. I read it not that long ago, and I was like, that's really good. you know, and I'm like, oh wait, I did that. But yeah, it's entertaining. I'm proud of it. And it was supposed to be just a learning experience, which it was. I also call it therapy, because some of the things in there actually really happened to me. And it was my little therapeutic way of dealing with all of it. So yeah.
awesome. So that will be back in stores through Lunar Distribution,
Hmm.
Universal Distribution, Simon and Schuster on February 25th of
Yes.
this year. So get your FOC orders in before Monday at your local comic shop so you can guarantee a copy.
And it is under Prana Publishing. So, but yeah,
Yes.
from Source Point Press. Yay.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Christie. It is always an honor. And again, make sure you follow her online and get an order in for Damnation of Charlie Wormwood.
And ignore my mess back there. Thank you so much, you guys. You're the best. Thanks for this show, both of you. You're doing a good thing.
Thank
talk
you,
soon,
guys.
Doc.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. So we have a number of other incredible comics we still have to talk about that are on Final Order Cutoff this Monday. So I think the best way to start it off would be Penguin Random House. What are your thoughts on that, Mr. Kyle?
Well, you always want to start with Penguin Random House, but you have Lunar loaded up, so maybe we should start with Lunar.
Nah, we're bouncing back to Penguin Random House.
We
Nice and
always start
easy.
with Penguin Random House.
Don't throw this.
Hot
Don't
take
throw
number
me under
one.
the bus
Penguin
on
Random
live
House is
air.
lame. Hot take number one. Penguin Random House's website is lame. We should do Lunar first because it's easier.
Okay, fine. Then you don't get to talk about Tubby Nugget.
Fine. Then the whole world's just going to miss out on maybe the greatest comic book ever published.
So maybe we should start it out with talking about Penguin Random House's very first book on their alphabetical Final Order Cutoff list, The Adventures of Tubby Nugget, Escape from Nuggetville.
This is a young reader's book, but it isn't a young reader's book. We all have Instagram reels, okay?
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't seen Tubby Nugget on your Instagram reels, are you even on the internet?
I can't tell you how many of those reels I have forwarded to my wife.
And that's what you do with them, right? You forward them to the people in your life that you're like, oh, this is a person who needs some cuteness right now. Or, oh, hey, this is exactly how I feel about chicken. Or something. Like, so many great little one-off jokes from Tubby Nugget. And now they're taking those shorts and those reels those animated kind of concepts and putting them into a graphic novel that is a full like Tubby Nugget storyline. So I'm very excited when things that start off as like humor bits from the internet turn into actual comic books that can have full on mythos and like weight.
Yeah. I will say though, I do love the reading level of Lexile 600L. I get that that's an actual reading level for like mid elementary school, but it is still so weird to see that as a listing on this book.
Yeah, I mean, but again, it's a young readers. It isn't for children. It's for children at heart.
There it is. Yeah. But no, absolutely amazing. This is the first, I believe, original graphic novel. There has been a previous Tubby Nugget that is still available through Penguin Random House. It was the Terrible book, which ever so delightful. But yeah, I'm happy to see this. This is a great one to promote. I think it'll be a fun one. I think, as you said, anyone with Instagram Reels has seen this incredibly cute figure, and I think it'll do great in comic shops having access to this.
Absolutely. And they are going to do more Adventures of Tubby Nugget books.
Yes.
I know that there are several like in progress.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. I just closed my next tab, so I'll reopen it very awkwardly. But the next big one is the crossover event for Spider-Man and Venom of the spring. It is Amazing Spider-Man Venom Death Spiral, crossing over not only with Spider-Man, the all-new Venom, but Eddie Brock Carnage. This is written by Charles Soule, Joe Kelly, and Ali Wing, the writer of those 3 series, as a new threat enters the game, a serial murderer that is going to come and bring a death spiral to everyone that is important to Eddie, Mary, and Peter. So this takes place right after Joe Kelly returns Peter Parker from space to New York City. He has not yet discovered that his former girlfriend and alternate reality wife is the new Venom. Eddie Brock obviously dropping that information in Carnage's mind finally that Peter Parker is in fact Spider-Man. Sorry, spoilers. This is going to be an interesting event. I am excited for this. It runs February through April, and I figure we're going to lose some lives here, or at least come really close to it. And there will be the traditional hyperbole of any Marvel book that things will change forever. But with these creators, I have my trust that no matter what happens, it's going to be good.
did you just call Mary Jane Mary?
I did.
Okay, we're going to give Mathias a small timeout while we remind everybody that it's Mary Jane or MJ, not just Mary. And even though she is currently Venom, which is dumb, she has 2 first names.
Did you really kill my camera for that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough.
I needed some sort of punitive punishment for messing that up, man. Mary?
There it is. Okay. I have to point it out because if you didn't watch it on Wednesday, FX dropped the first episode of The Beauty, the classic top
Did you watch it?
Image Comics. I have not. It's on my to be watched on Hulu right now. Ooh, is that good? Is it that good?
Listen, I have a hard time seeing Ashton Kutcher as anyone other than Michael Kelso.
Valid.
But so good in this. So good. I mean, like the adaptation is perfect. And I want to give a shout out to FX and to Ryan Murphy and all those people. There's an ad in it, like it pops up it's not an ad that like ran on TV or whatever. It's part of the show for Ignition Press. I love it when these companies, when these studios figure out if we don't promote the source material, nobody's going to know what the hell we're doing, and so they choose to promote the source material. I don't know. Maybe Marvel and DC could learn to do that with their giant big screen movies. Maybe, I don't know. Just a thought. But if Ignition can figure it out on FX, maybe everybody else should too.
Well, I mean, and that's one of those things I always do want to address when people say, like, why can't we get this A-list actor like Chris Evans, to talk about Captain America or things like that? That is not always within the control of the publisher and the studio relationship. It can be placed in the contract, but sometimes that's not easy. Chris Evans was a horrible example because Disney can do that. But it is very impressive that Ignition and FX were able to come together for that, because there's a lot of room where that had no ability to be done. There's a lot of room where there is no one at the big studios, television companies, and production studios that want to. So huge shout out to FX, to Murphy, to Ignition for all that coming together to make that happen.
There is no reason that every studio ever and every company ever couldn't do exactly what they did. It's not like they wrote it into the script. It's not like it's somebody talking about it. It's just, here's this story based on a comic book by Ignition Press. Is a static screen at the end of the show. If you turn the channel too quickly at the end of the show, you missed it anyway. But it's there. Just like those people who leave before the credits of a movie. You're going to miss something, even if the movie doesn't have post-credit scenes. You're going to miss something. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I guess I do want to emphasize then, what I'm arguing is that is not on the publisher. Every publisher, I guarantee you, wants that. That is
Right.
on the production studios, the television, the movies, all that. So a huge shout out to that, because I guarantee you, every single comic publisher wishes the big name celebrity would drop the name of the comic that they're basing their story off of. So a huge shout out to the Beauty, issue 4 on FOC with 2 amazing covers. Trade paperbacks for volume 1 of the original series are available now, so you can get ahead of the TV show. And of course, read the incredible sequel / side story that is volume 2 of Beauty, issues 1 through 3, currently available through Penguin Random House. All right. Big one I got to talk about, the finale, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, The Rites of Springs. Some amazing covers on this unbelievable epic. I think this is going to be a very big contender for awards coming into the next year. But I love this incredible Elizabeth Beals cover that is a delightful homage to Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You'll Go. Just really great.
Unknown, the Beauty has only ever been a limited series. The first one was a 6-issue mini. This next one is a 3 or 5 or whatever it is.
I feel that is incorrect.
Nope. What did Philip say? That this first one is only 3 or 5 issues, but that there's room to continue.
Oh, you mean a volume 2?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I thought you were talking about the original Beauty comic series.
Right, the original was only whatever that was, that mini 12 issues or whatever it was. Miniseries.
It went a couple volumes. It was definitely a good one. I know I still have the single issues in a box.
Right.
But no, awesome stuff. All right. A lot of great continuing series on there, worth paying attention to. So make sure you are scanning through everything. Even Frozen getting a return with a brand new Little Golden book, giving us a brand new story. That's not something you often get in the Little Golden books, but a brand new story for Frozen Ever After. We have some delightful coloring books with Pixar and Disney princesses. But the one I want to talk about is Godzilla number 8. Now, Godzilla number 6 dealt with the death of the king of kaiju, the king of monsters, Godzilla. Clearly, he's not gone yet, as in Godzilla 8, we see there is the spirit of Godzilla. How this kaiju king is still around, that is the tale to tell. Issue 7 and issue 8 are going to give us that, and it is exciting, so I just have to put it back on there. Everyone came out for the death of Godzilla. Don't let that be your stopping point. You need to continue on with Tim Seeley's epic ongoing series, because it's ongoing for a reason.
Or maybe if we call something the death of something should actually die. I don't know. Maybe just a little. But no, we're going to keep calling everything to death, and then
Godzilla.
Then we're going to have a funeral for that thing, and then Shaquille O'Neal is going to be Superman for a month, and then they're going to bring him back like every time. And it happened with Shaquille O'Neal with Godzilla for like a month, and now Godzilla's back.
You know, I can't imagine how Shaq will do that. I mean, like, is Shaq? I mean, you know, when Shaq was Steel, he couldn't play basketball. What's this? He can't, you know, have his incredible chicken franchise
He
now.
can't run a Papa John's.
There it is.
Or he
All
can
right.
run a Papa John's. He just has to use Godzilla's fire breath to cook the pizzas.
There it is. All right. Hello, Darkness continuing on with issue 19 in the spring, but one odd one I want to talk about is his Little Amber, a brand new manga series coming from Seven Seas. This is a yaoi series with the weirdest context I can imagine, as a Yakuza member finds a leopard cub. Yes, a leopard, the cat-like, you know, animal, and raises it only to discover it is a shapeshifter, and he falls in love with the young leopard that becomes a sexy 20-something-year-old boy that equally loves him. It is a weird concept for a manga, but I think with the demand right now for explicit manga, particularly both yaoi, yuri, and, you know, everything in between, this is one that could get a lot of attention. Very unique concept. Then, in an equally abstract and unexpected topic for me to talk about, I want to emphasize Iron Man right now. Iron Man #1 doesn't come out for another week from Joshua Williamson, but I think that the man behind Flash, Superman, G.I. Joe, and others jumping over to Marvel to do the Iron Man ongoing series is deserving of attention. And a lot of retailers are not going to know how to order issue #2 without any sales data from issue #1. So if you're going to be with me on this and trust that Joshua Williamson has always been an astoundingly talented writer and will undoubtedly kick butt on Iron Man, this is the time to let your local comic shop know you have that faith and you want to pre-order issue #2 to help your shop base orders. Because this is something Marvel, I hate to say, is incredibly predatory on this, and it shoots them in the foot more often than not. It is why issue #2s from Marvel books, amongst most comics, are so hard to get a hold of. But I want to point out while we're doing it, this beautiful pair of Ryan Stegman covers. Because the A cover for Iron Man 2 by Ryan Stegman is Iron Man's helmet with the reflection of the villainess Madame Mask. However, if you scroll down, there are a ton of incredible covers, but my favorite right here is Ryan Stegman's Madame Mask with the reflection of Iron Man that pairs wonderfully with it. I mean, you get the classic, you know, 1960s, 70s, or well, I guess 1970s Iron Man look with an Eric Larson cover. You have the beautiful David Nakayama, some incredible Scotty Young, all of this looking great. But I love those two Stegman covers. I mean, I know, Kyle, you obviously are somebody who has a strong opinion on stretching out multiple cover purchases, but tell me those wouldn't look nice next to each other.
Oh, I love Steggy.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I think they're great, but you mentioned it earlier. Marvel is being incredibly predatory right now. With one, the way they're handling their FOC and their release schedule. And some of that is a factor of the way they handle skip weeks end of the year, where now they're having to kind of rush FOC to get back on schedule. Right. And some of that is a factor of they no longer care about the consumer's budget. They just want to milk you for all the money you have. And whereas something like with the Absolute Universe or even with the Ultimates, they were doing that by putting out great books. Now they're putting out unproven books, and they're saying you have to buy 4 covers if you want to get this whole image, rather than making it a wraparound or a die cut or a gatefold or one of the other many ways they could release this same art, right? And again, I'm not saying that Joshua Williamson Iron Man #1 isn't going to be absolute fire, because I think it probably is. But we don't know yet. So you've got to pre-order, or your shop has to at least pre-gamble on whether or not this book is going to be successful to order the covers that people are going to want. And that's just an unreasonable expectation for anybody to ask people to put their money up on something they don't know. So when we talk about Marvel being predatory, this is what we're talking about. Is it's Matthias or myself as a shop owner has to risk our money without knowing how number one is going to be to order these two gorgeous Stegman covers or the 4-part connecting Scotty Young. Do we know Scotty Young is going to sell? Yes, but 4-part connecting Scotty Young without any sales data to back it up? That's a big ask. That's like asking somebody for a loan and that's going, I need $10,000. You can't ask me what for. It's basically the same thing. Marvel's going, give us $10,000, but we're not going to tell you if the book's any good. Really?
Always
So
a gamble.
no, I'm big angry.
Yeah, but it's also why, for those watching, it's important to reach out to your local comic shop and get those orders in, especially if you want multiple copies. I know I'm buying both the Stegmans and the Scotty Young and the Eric Larson and the David Nakayama, but I am the problem. I am the reason Marvel keeps doing this. Is I am the idiot that will always buy into that for my personal collection because those are pretty covers.
And I will buy 0 just to balance them out, much as I want them.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, in 3 weeks, I will totally corner some folks from Marvel who owe me a favor and have to listen to me and yell at them about this because it is totally inappropriate.
Absolutely. All right.
And then they will think I'm a witch because I will predict the next big event.
All right. Well, you can predict the next big event, but can you choose your own adventure? I know you're always a fan of these. Choose Your Own Adventure Junior, though, for younger readers. And I think this is the coolest Choose Your Own Adventure yet. Kaiju Gaga.
All we hear is Kaiju Gaga.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
sing it again.
I was just going to say, all we hear is Kaiju Gaga, Kaiju Goo Goo. Anyway.
All right. So, is this something that excites you? Tell me this isn't something you want to buy for your nephew.
Oh, absolutely, and it's something I will. The thing I have this weird relationship with the Choose Your Own Adventure people, right? Because you remember when they sued everybody for trying to make their own version of Choose Your Own Adventure?
I think you do.
So they've not proven to be super friendly in the market. But that said, they still make incredibly great books. And this is one that, again, for a 5-year-old, 6-year-old who's just learning to read some chapter books and kind of understanding the concept of narrative storytelling, this is a great way to sort of drive those skills home.
Absolutely. I mean, and who doesn't love the idea of choose your own adventure? But this is where, the kid gets to be their own Pokemon master. They get to have their pet Godzilla. Like everything about this. I am looking forward to my son getting this book just so I can be the one reading over his shoulder.
Right.
Yeah. So absolutely fun things, that you wouldn't expect. But here's a great one that I am really excited about. For Mike Mignola fans, this is not a Hellboy story. This is his new universe, Lands Unknown, that takes classic folklore and brings it to a dark sequential art form. He started this with Bowling for Corpses. There is the second graphic novel hitting in April. I'm going to have to scroll down to remember the name of it. The Uri Tupka and the Gods. That will be coming out, in March. But this is the first floppy single issue of the Lands Unknown. It is The Skinless Man. And this is done with Ben Stenbeck and Mike Mignola. I am really excited to see how well this does because Bowling for Corpses blew up. As a $25 graphic novel, I sold numbers like it was better than if it was a Hellboy single issue. So this has, I think, a lot of potential, especially for all the Mignola fans out there.
Yeah. And again, I love Hellboy, don't get me wrong, but I like when Mignola does not Hellboy. Again, so this has all of the Hellboy things just without actually being Hellboy. So you don't have to worry about red. And I like it.
All right.
There are a couple. There's a couple books under M and N that I want to talk about when we get there, just as a
Yeah.
heads up.
Absolutely. So
And there's the first one.
which one would that be?
Ahem. My girlfriend cheated on me, and now my flirty underclassman won't leave me alone. Light novel, volume 1.
There it is. Prose story done in the airship form, so it is going to be a mature and naughty book, which with the title like that doesn't seem so shocking.
Yeah, so this is just days before Christmas. College sophomore Hosogawa Yuta gets the worst kind of holiday surprise. His girlfriend's been cheating on him. Depressed and dodging couples on every corner, he stumbles into an irresistible, bold underclassman dressed like Santa and full of mischief. She's sweet, she's sassy, she's suddenly everywhere Yuta goes, delighting in teasing him back to life. But is this just playful fun or the beginning of something more? Listen, the big thing about this one for me is that there is nothing here that leads you to believe that this is a Christmas story, but it's a Christmas story. And this totally feels like Swim Fan. If it was, again, set in Miracle on 34th Street.
I mean, Swim Fan feels like a dark comparative, but like if it is like Swim Fan, I might be reading a light novel.
Yeah, that's totally kind of the instinct that I get because it's a shonen style story, and it is 7 Seas.
Very seinen.
Mm-hmm. Huh?
Not shonen, very seinen. This is a mature book.
Oh, sorry. What did I said shonen seinen. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it's also 7 Seas, and it's also what was the other note that was here?
Is there
the airship style. So it's got all of those things. That means it kind of could go anywhere. And it does have the spot illustrations, so it's not entirely prose. It's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, beautiful artwork by Ale on there. Well, I have another one that starts with that is a manga. It is my favorite VTuber is Scary. This is done by Square Enix. It has a very mature looking cover, but amusingly, it has a very fun and unexpected concept. As a young introvert delivery boy is constantly delivering things to this scary woman that just glares him down every time he has to drop things off. But when he finally hears her voice, he realizes it's his favorite VTuber. And this is an interesting one because I still don't understand what a VTuber is, but I hear my customers talk about it all the time. And I know that the demand for that concept is there. We sell card games for VTubers. There's VTuber conventions. So this is an amusing sounding concept, and maybe it'll be the thing that finally allows me to figure out what a VTuber is. But one way or another, when Square Enix picks up the license for a manga like this, I think it has a notably more than meets the eye potential. So
raise your hand in the chat if you want me to teach Mathias what a VTuber is and chronicle it for the EXP.
I'm worried about this. I
It'll
really
be
have
the
no
single
idea.
most awkward content we've ever made. I guarantee it.
I mean, didn't you almost get arrested like on Sunday?
Sad, yeah.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with VTubers. That has everything to do with just small towns and friggin' federal law.
I'm telling you guys, if you are not watching all the shows on the EXP, you are missing great live moments. Like Kyle having to end a live stream really quick so he doesn't get thrown in Crownsville himself.
Yeah. So my next book is like literally the third in that row, by the way.
Would it be the Incredible Nerd Inferno?
Nerd Inferno, the essential Evan Dorkin.
I love me some Milkman and cheese.
Yes, absolutely. Guys, Evan Dorkin, Milk and Cheese, Dork. This is the guy who's won Eisner's, Harvey's, Ignatz Awards. He's won every award there is. This is a mature audience's book for sure. But these are the best stories that Evan has ever done. And when you think about modern indie, you think about Evan Dorkin, Paul Pope, Durf Back Durf, Jeff Smith kind of carving the path for what modern indie looks like, right? They were the guys who were doing underground or slightly off-kilter books back when it wasn't cool because everybody wanted to be Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane, right? So if you're into, there might be something wrong with this guy's head books, this is for you. And it's definitely a book that I probably own everything in already, but will buy multiple copies of because I love Evan Dorkin that much.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to figure drawing, because that is the easiest explanation I've ever had for a VTuber, and I now feel I understand. So,
damn. I was hoping to make it more awkward than that.
Oh, they're taking Kyle's job away from him. He's taking your job, Kyle. All right. Let's unless you have any objections, let's talk about Predator. Predator Bloodshed.
I mean, I have all kinds of objections, but the big one is that I didn't get asked to write this book.
Yeah. Well, just be glad you're not asked to be invited to the Tournament of Martial Artists. That is an underground event and the plot point of Predator Bloodshed, written by Jordan Morris. It is the kumite of alien stories, you could say. That big epic battle, the best of the best, fighting it out. And of course, who wants to kill the best of the best? It's Predator. So, brand new miniseries. And I mean, I don't think Predator has ever been as hot as he has reached over the past year. From the escalation of Prey to Killer of Killers and then Badlands. The comics have been selling as he's been crossing over with every Marvel hero. So now we're back to just hardcore original Predator with Bloodshed, and I think this is the right time for it.
And that cover, that A cover by Ken Lashley, like, is just such a great Predator shot.
Yeah.
I mean all the covers on this are great, but yeah. I love that Ken Lashley version.
I'm stuck on the Dolly cover, but even the Panosian, you're right. All three of these covers, absolutely amazing. So I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to see how the Predator handles the battle. Then continuing Psylocke Ninja. Look at that. Psylocke versus Elektra has me excited on multiple covers. We get an omnibus of Punisher and Fury, the Max series. But what is it you got, Kyle?
I finally read Punisher Ninja yesterday. Or Punisher Psylocke Ninja yesterday. A little disappointing. But now I see the cover with her and Elektra, and all the disappointing goes away as all the blood rushes back to the part of me that loves Psylocke and Elektra.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting ninja fight. That is the type of fight I want to see.
I think the problem is the first issue was a little bit too exposition-y and not enough Psylocke doing Psylocke things. Right. And now that we're getting into the second issue and we're getting further down the line, it's going to be much easier for it to be Psylocke doing things with swords, right? And less talky.
I mean, the interesting thing is I often want to internally, pigeonhole Tim Seeley as writing a certain type of thing. And when I saw Psylocke Ninja, I'm like, oh, well, here we go. Here's Marvel Hack Slash, literally. But it is surprisingly a emphasis that there is a wide range of writing that Tim Seeley is capable of.
Oh, for sure. And I appreciate that about Tim, but like, if ever there was a time for Marvel Hack Slash, it was this.
Yes.
And that isn't what issue 1 was. So,
Yeah. Meanwhile, Erica Schultz continues Rogue with the Shadows of Tomorrow. We have more fun with the Sorcerer Supreme that is the Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff.
I want to know how many David Nakayama all red with a girl in a red suit covers he's going to do.
The interesting thing is, I think that's the first of the. I think there was an Elektra one on Daredevil, but the vast majority.
Well, but he's also doing that with Iron Man and with several others. So,
yeah,
I just
Okay.
want to know what his red budget has been in the last month.
Well, it's still nowhere near a Mike Mignola usage of ink.
True, but this man has used more red than any artist ever in the last month.
I'm just waiting for the art book. They'll call it the Red Papers.
Ooh,
All right.
I'd buy the hell out of that.
A trade paperback that you need to grab for only $15. Spider-Man Worlds Collide collects both of the Brian Michael Bendis, Sarah Pichelli Spider-Man series, Volume 1 and Volume 2, the first interactions of Peters and Miles. This is great content and a steal of a deal. It's 10 issues, $15. There is no reason not to dive on this. Whether you're a fan who only knows Miles as what is it, Web Spinner? I want to say I can never remember the name on the kids' TV show. Or if you were just gonna enjoy him from his Ultimate Universe time, this is a masterpiece, and it's just emotionally devastating character exposition between Peter Parker, Aunt May, and others. All right. Last one I want to talk about, aside from pointing out Tomb Raider Colossal Collection Volume 3, because we just got to see graphics of the upcoming Tomb Raider movie that have me beyond excited. And I want to remind everyone you can still order the Colossal Collections Volume 1 and Volume 2. Colossal Collection 3 finally entering the Dark Horse era with Gail Simone and Mariko Tamaki tales. But the big one I want to end cap on is X-Men United.
Oh,
X-Men. Oh, all right.
Can we go to a W book? Right there, Weaving Shaw. Before we get to X-Men United, because X-Men United is going to take us a minute because it's gorgeous, right? And it's been so interesting. It's going to be so interesting. But Weaving Shaw is my prose novel of the week. I'm going to make a graphic. Kyle's prose novel of the week. Anyway,
I'd be interested in follow that each week.
Mm-hmm. Say again.
I'd be interested in following that each week. I want to see this. This is a new thing from now on. You said it. You can't take it back. Prose novel.
So this is the story of this girl named Lena, who wakes up one day and realizes that she is Haley Joel Osment from The Sixth Sense. Basically, she can see dead people. And since she's found this ability, she's kind of hidden away. She's escaped reality because she knows that if people find out, they'll put her in some sort of institution. So she kind of disappears until her brother gets sick, and she has to make a decision: let him die or buy the medicine that will save his life. And the only way she can afford to do that is by bartering with the only thing she has of value, which is this gift or this secret. She teams up with a ruthless kind of trader merchant who deals only in like secrets and confessions to try to get this medicine. And basically he gives her a quest. And if she could do it, he won't tell everybody what's up, and he will help her brother. So they wind up going to this place called Weaving Shaw. She finds the estate of Weaving Shaw. She has to find a ghost there, and it's this story of them in this place, and she's either stuck finding this ghost or losing her life, losing her freedom to this merchant forever.
Interesting concept. Brand new hardcover coming out on February 24th. I mean, I don't think I hate to say I'm not familiar with Hiba Al-Wastidi.
It's their debut novel.
Okay, well there you go.
And by the way, this is Del Rey Books, right? So Del Rey just again, and this is how I figure out what my prose novel of the week is going to be. So Del Rey Books, they published the Book of Blood and Roses, things like Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. all of the Asimov robot series, Water Moon, The White Octopus Hotel. So they publish a lot of really great sci-fi. The Book of Elsewhere by China Mali,
Millville.
what is it, Meeville,
Millville.
and Keanu Reeves. So that's part of how I figure this out, right? Is this is a Del Rey book, so it's pretty good.
Absolutely. All right, can I dive into X-Men?
Yes, X-Men
Let's do
United,
it.
Scotty Young cover forever.
All right. Well, I personally love this Mike Del Mundo because Wolverine as a crossing guard is brilliant. But if you haven't caught from the references on this and other amazing covers of this book, which there are plenty, X-Men United is the return to schooling for mutants. Yes, that's where X-Men started out back in the 1960s. It was Xavier's school for higher education of mutants. And we have drifted away from that. The X-Men have not had a school in years. I think I want to say they haven't had a school since they went off to San Francisco, but they might have had a school briefly in the middle of Central Park. Nevertheless, you lost it with the House of X Powers of 10 era onward. We are back, and it's no longer Gray Malkin Drive, it's Gray Matter is the name of this school, which leads me to believe it is purely in the mind. As characters like Wolverine, Emma Frost, and others become the teachers at this new school. Eve Ewing doing the writing on this book, I have high expectations. It looks brilliant. It has some of your favorite mutants in it. You can see the brilliant number of covers and top tier creators that they threw on this. And I love seeing young mutants once again. Most of the covers are going to feature our traditional cast of X-Men. But this cover by Luana Vecchio gives us our first hint and reminder that the thing about X-Men I love is not always the red and the gold team or the blue team. It's not the X-Force. It's not those classic characters from the 1960s or even 1970s being reused again and again. It's seeing those new generations, whether it was Kitty Pryde and Ileana Rasputin to, Hope and Edie, watching these new young characters constantly enter into the Marvel Universe through the X-Men books and the schools, characters like Pixie and more, almost, Guthrie and his entire extensive family from the South. These are the fun things I think that introduce new characters in the Marvel Universe. So I am excited to see a return to the school era of X-Men.
Yeah, and just as we'll get into more of this later as we talk about our top 10 and other things. But there are some really incredible covers. Matteo Loli, Peach Momoko, obviously Scotty Young, the W. Scott Forbes variant, all fire. I'm angry about a number of things that have to do with this book, but I'm mainly angry because I'm so excited for this book. Like, you're going to treat me like you're going to treat me, Marvel, and then you're going to give me something I'm really excited about. It's like an abusive ex. But shout out. I like the W. Scott. Like, I just was emailing my LCS going, hey, I forgot to add the W. Scott Forbes variant to my list. Gonna need at least 2. Thanks. Because every cover on here is great.
Absolutely. All right. Speaking of great covers, shall we hop over to Lunar and talk about some of the amazing things that DC has on their big A title?
Finally.
All right. I know Kyle's been waiting for it. So reminder, lunardistribution.com, your home for DC, Image, Oni, Dynamite, and more. Just scroll on down to this upcoming FOC and make sure you're on the right date, January 26th. And let's talk about Absolute Batman. This is going to be the introduction of Absolute Poison Ivy. There are a number of phenomenal and horrifying covers. I'm telling you, Eric Kanede really loves things coming out of Batman's mouth. Just every chance he gets, something's coming out of Batman's mouth.
I don't want to kink shame, but maybe it's time with this one. That cover is great, but can we have it come out of Batman's ear for once? Something other than his mouth? Like, man's jaw has to hurt.
Yeah. Unquestionably a big book. But one that has me excited in the lightest and goofiest way. Nothing beats Princess Hot Dog having a cookout. Adventure Time issue number 10 gets you ready for the warmth of spring to start coming in with a cookout comic. And nothing more frightening and yet humorously cute than the item you'd normally throw on the grill, grilling herself.
Look at the B cover.
Absolutely. Horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, but like, it's based on that meme, that everything is fine meme. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is a great cover, but it's, yeah, terrifying.
Love it. But yeah, this new Adventure Time Nick Wynn has been doing an incredible job. I'm adoring it. And it really fills my need for more Adventure Time. I get that right now, thanks to HBO Max, we're getting some Fiona and Cake, and I love Fiona and Cake. But sometimes I just want Jake and Finn the way I remember them. So another one that gets my attention is a unique book that I am particularly excited to be able to have in a comic shop is All My Friends Are Dead, as well as All My Friends Are Still Dead. Avery Monson's very darkly cute humor is back and available to comic shops. And I think this will do wonderful. This is like a great counter book that will just easily be hand sold.
Yeah. I mean, I love the lines in the solicitations. If you're a dinosaur, all your friends are dead. If you're a pirate, all your friends have scurvy. If you're a tree, all your friends are end tables.
Yeah.
Like, I just love the way that they put that so succinctly. This is a fun book. Yeah, this is an evergreen. Will always sell because you'll always have somebody with a dark sense of humor going, I have a friend who really could use to remember that all of his friends are dead.
Absolutely. And then, of course, beautiful Carla Cohen covers on Essentia. You have a lot of great continuing series, but one that is going to be a big one is the facsimile edition of Batman, The Dark Knight Returns. Kyle, I'm sure you got words.
I do. And there are many. Mainly, why? Why do we need this? Why do we need Batman, The Dark Knight Returns, #1 of 4 facsimile editions? Does everyone in the world not own a trade paperback of this book at this point? Oh, and if you don't, guess what else is on FOC this week? The Dark Knight Returns compact edition.
Now, that being said, cannot deny for $10 a steal. And of course, it's celebrating the 40th anniversary is the big reason for that. But yeah,
Sure.
40th anniversary. It's crazy to think that was 40 years.
So you're gonna spend $20 buying 4 facsimile single issues that are gonna look like crap on your shelf, or you can spend $10 buying the compact edition if you don't already own the trade paperback, which everybody should own the trade paperback. They printed it 7 million times.
That is very, very true. One of the most up there with the Watchmen is one of the most prolifically printed trade paperbacks.
Right.
But I will say there's beautiful new covers, and it's not often you'll hear me specifically say beautiful new Frank Miller covers, but that's
Sure,
not a
but
bad
you could slap
cover.
this on a new printing of the trade paperback.
Yes.
The full-size trade paperback. Or here you go. You want to do a facsimile, do a collected edition of the facsimiles, right? Take all 4, put them in one book, put it in a binding. Let me stick it on my shelf with the 8 other copies of this book I have. But no, now DC's trying to milk us for all of our money.
Yeah. And meanwhile, give us a great deal, though, on that $10 trade. I cannot deny I can put this in the hands of a lot of young readers who have not yet had that opportunity over the past 40 years at $10.
And here's my end of my page on this, right? Because you're doing the $10 compact edition, do multiple covers of that. Let people pick which art they like, right? There have been so many beautiful covers for this series. Do several covers of that, and then let the young people, let the people who are buying this pick which cover they want, as opposed to we're gonna have Jim Lee draw a cover of the facsimile. No. The man's so far behind on Hush. Let him finish. Don't make him waste time on this.
That part is very true. Oh, I cannot wait to talk about that Mad magazine that will be coming out on April Fool's Day. Just jabbing at Jim on his belated Batman Hush. All right. For those who love samurai tales, I always love samurai tales. How about not a samurai tale? Ancient Chinese warriors in the fashionable style of Game of Thrones. We have The Blades of the Guardian by Zhanxia Zhu. I'm horrible with my Chinese at times. This is an awesome martial arts piece. I think it will go great for anybody who loves things from Lone Wolf and Cubs to Storm Riders. And again, I've said it before on the show, but we don't get enough manhwa. We do not get enough manhwa or Chinese sequential art in the American market, and this has me very, very excited.
Right next to that is the Cats Rule the Earth Tarot coloring book. If you're like me and you have slightly witchy goth girls in your life who have like cats, this is a great present to get them, especially with Valentine's Day on the horizon. They don't want to talk to you. They just want to sit at home with their cats and color. Well, now you can give them something to color.
There it is. Out March 4th.
Just throwing that out there.
All sorts of cats. Cats rule the earth, catwalk icons, and
Different kind of
Catwoman.
cat, but still.
Yeah.
Catwalk icons does look interesting, especially if you have people in your life who are into fashion. So that's a little more about fashionistas and that thing, but also a very interesting concept.
Then we had the incredible Dr. Christina Blanche on earlier today, talking up the Damnation of Charlie Wormwood. I just want to remind everyone to point out this is an incredible trade. Get it ordered, $20, steal all 64 chapters of the comic series in one binding. Let's see, the final issue of Death to Pachuco on FOC this week. Beautiful Jay Gonzo variant right there that really draws in the attention. Then another one of the facsimiles, because DC and Marvel cannot get off the facsimiles. I really wish they just understand that when you have a different cover, it is called a reprint, not a facsimile. Nevertheless, Part 1 of Batman Year 2, aka Detective Comics 575, getting a reprint. It's classic Alan Davis artwork, so something to consider. Then, if you're a fan of Mulan,
earlier rant.
Yeah, how about a brand new Mulan story? The folks at Paper Cuts bring us Mulan's adventure journal as the Chinese emperor faces a new threat and believes that Mulan, the warrior princess, is the only one for the job. I'm happy, because I can tell you so many fans of Mulan that I will be able to hand a comic to because of this.
Yeah. I mean, Ming-Na Wen is the only way to defeat the bad guy in this. So this makes total sense.
Indeed. Then we had the incredible David Avalone on a while back to promote Elvira in Horrorland. Now, here's the sequel, Elvira in Monsterland. It's Elvira entering all your favorite monster movies. Frankenstein, Dracula, The Mummy, Werewolf, all those fun concepts. You're going to get to see Elvira mock them incessantly in the best ways possible with all the wonderful humor of David Avalone and the incredible art of Cooper Ball. Hardcover and softcover available. All right. Here is one that I did not think I was going to like. I'm going to be 100% honest with you because I'm going to tell you I loved it in the end. End of Life is the new Vertigo series from Kyle Starks and Stephen Pugh. The pitch does nothing for me. What do you got, Kyle?
Can you show either the B?
Kyle, I'm losing you a bit. I can't tell if that's me or.
Can you show either the B or?
I'm gonna do the B cover. I don't know if you're losing me or I'm losing you.
It's a little bit of both.
Okay. But
Before he gets into this too much, it's not Constantine.
it is definitely not John Constantine.
Even though it looks like Constantine, and it's a
Looks
Vertigo
nothing
book from
like
DC, it's not. It's a blonde dude with a cigarette and guns.
When is
Okay, it's a
Constantine
Vertigo book.
done? I'll give you the Vertigo.
In that terrible TV show.
Oh, there was a Constantine TV show?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Ooh, I totally missed that. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes. All right. So, End of Life. Kyle Stark, Steve Pugh. This solicitation, I'm going to tell you, does nothing for it. I got a chance to read an advanced copy of End of Life. This is an amazing story about the most showboating hitman you can imagine. This is like if Jake Paul was a hitman. You want to hate that guy. Was it Jake Paul, Jake Logan, Paul Logan? I don't remember any of their names. It's, if you just had that over the top heel of humanity existing as a hitman with a group called the Menagerie, all animal themed hitmen. And yet, this is amazing. It is all the humor and darkness that Kyle Starks can boil up in such a brilliant piece. This is going to be my favorite of the upcoming Vertigo books. More so than Nice House by the Sea, more so than any of the other ones I've seen. End of Life, horrible, horrible solicit, amazing book. Please pre-order it and give issue 1 a shot, because this is just the epitome of a horrible human being, the biggest man-child assassin you can imagine, that feels so self-entitled and everything, getting in way over his head. It is laughable. It is dark. It is twisted. It is amazing. If ever my opinion has mattered in this show, give this one a shot. Kyle, resisting it every single inch.
Well, again, it's a Vertigo book with a blonde guy smoking a cigarette on the cover. That, to me, is a Constantine book. Being it not a Constantine book means I'm entirely skeptical. Luckily, because again, we're a little bit lucky, Matthias and I, in that we get PDFs of a lot of these things. I'm going to get to read it before I finalize my order. So give me a chance to decide, does this book actually suck or not?
All right, we'll come back to Kyle on this next week. But for the rest of you, give it a shot. Reach out to your local comic shop. If you like dark comedy, if you want, like, I mean, there's nothing I can compare this to, is the crazy part. There really is nothing I've read I can compare this to. Nothing I've watched I can compare this to. It is as action packed as John Wick, but it is in no way John Wick. But fun book nevertheless. A lot of great continuing series. Again, you can see the free comic book day books that will be coming out the first Saturday of May. Please take note. You should talk to your comic shop and see how they handle free comic book day, because these are not something you can simply just place an order for unless your comic shop is willing to do that for you. These are a reminder also that your comic shop pays for every one of those books they give out to you on free comic book day each year. So perhaps express your interest to your local comic shop in them, but understand and inquire how they handle free comic books.
Right. Well, while a lot of shops, again, won't let you pre-order free comic book day books, if you go, hey, I'm really into Inanna, the name she lost from Vault Comics, that might mean they order it as opposed to not ordering it. Which is something that, again, especially now that Free Comic Book Day is at a couple of different distributors, and there's Comic Giveaway Day, which is a terrible name that Penguin Random House is using. Like, it's going to be harder for shops to make sure they get everything. So shops are just going to probably order what they know will work for them. So if you let them know ahead of time, it will make it easier for them to know what will work for them.
All right. Kyle, what are your thoughts on the incredible pins and patches being offered up by
Silver Sprocket.
Silver Sprocket, Avi Rod's incredible publishing company?
Avi Ehrlich. But yes,
Go on, Eric. Sorry, I'll be right. It's old Marvel. Yeah, I'm tired.
you're
You know.
good. I made some mistakes. Anyway, so here's the deal, guys. If you don't know Silver Sprocket, they are as hippie of a comic book company as you can find. I love the gang from Silver Sprocket. We always do something dumb together at Comics Pro, including dancing on tables to customize playlists and all kinds of stuff. So that's always fun with them. But they do a lot of books that really fall more into the zine category than maybe the comic book category, right? And what they do have a lot of is a lot of creators that are from marginalized groups. Who are on the spectrum, whatever. And so their feminism book or their feminism pins, if you know anything about the way praying mantises handle mating, this is definitely a statement about the patriarchy. And they're going to make political statements in their books. And I think it's just fun the way they do it, because they do it, again, this isn't super heavy handed. This is a little bit tongue in cheek. They're not going to come at you with a big political statement like maybe somebody else will. They're going to come at you with a very strong political statement that you're going to go, wait, what?
Yeah.
So
I argue social statement over political statement, but yes.
yeah, I mean, but again, political, social, like whatever statement they're making, they're going to do it a little bit tongue in cheek and a little bit, hey, do you get the joke? Do you get the joke? Huh? So also biggest publisher of ska-related comic material ever.
Absolutely amazing. They're based out of San Francisco, and they're the most San Francisco publisher you can imagine with their own
They're
comic
also a
shop.
retailer.
Yes,
Yeah. Absolutely.
absolutely amazing. All right, continuing on. Let's do something completely out there. I'm going to read this solicit to you. It is so radically unexpected. Florida hippopotamus cocaine massacre. Disco Hippo Wonderland is the #1 amusement park in Flamingo City, but few realize its corpulent owner, John's Major Discal, is about to release the most potent drug ever created, Coke 45. Fortunately for humanity, Agent Clark Nebraska is on the case. She'll bring down Discal come heck or high water. That was the plan until her undercover agent, Tico Senecoza, I'm certain I mispronounced that, was captured. And before she can rescue him, Miguel, Tico's sexy loose cannon of an older brother, beats her to the punch. Storming into the park with bullets flying, Discal panics, dumping the Coke 45 into the hippo enclosure and letting them loose on the park before fleeing into Wonderland's tunnel network. Nebraska's plan are totally off the rails, and things get worse when marijuana smoke-fueled hurricanes drown the park in torrential rain. Now it's up to Nebraska and Miguel to create an uncomfortable truce to bring Discal down before he escapes. That is the most Florida sounding comic solicit I can imagine. And that is the most Kyle imaginable response I can get out of that.
Don't do drugs, kids, especially when you're creating comics. Okay? This screams to me Sweetie Candy Vigilante and some of these other books that like are put together, and you know what they're appealing to. They're appealing to that wild kind of super out there, sort of part of comic bookdom, where it's we want funny, we want off the rails, we want buck wild. That's not always a good thing. Take any one of these elements out, and I think you have a great book. But you've got coke-fueled hippopotamuses, a pot smoke hurricane. You've got cops and drug dealers, and so
Don't forget
it's
Disneyland.
28. Right, it's 28 days later with coked up hippos from Fantasia. With like, what's that Tom Cruise movie where he's the FBI guy who's also the drug smuggler? Like, all smashed into one. Take any one of those elements out and you still have a crazy book, and it makes more sense than this one does.
I love it. This is the Gen Z answer to like those last gasp underground comics of the 70s, if you ask me.
But the problem is they're not last gasping. They're just at places like Silver Sprocket and other small publishers, right? Those books are still getting made. The underground's still alive. We don't need Mad Cave and big name creators pretending like they're not. That said, I'm going to read the shit out of this book.
Okay, we got there in the end. I love it. All right. A crazy one to think of. Furlough hits issue 200, the longest running anthropomorphic comic series in sequential art. Furlough hits its 200th issue. Crazy thought on that. So I have to point it out. Antarctic Press bringing that to light. We have Ghost Pepper continuing on. Some beautiful G.I. Joe hardcover.
Is it longer running than TMNT?
Yes, TMNT has not hit issue 200. I mean, well, if you combine all the issues, there is the arguable point. Yes. Yes.
Right. We need legacy numbering on TMNT, I think is what I'm saying here.
Actually, I would vote for that. I think that if I start compiling everything in my head, are
You're close
nearing
to 350 issues on totals.
300. Yeah. Crazy.
Anyway, but longest continuous without restarting, without changing companies, absolutely. And it's worth picking up because it is very good.
All right. So here's a weird one. What if Scotty Young and Derek Loffman redid The Fly, that classic movie, with our protagonist of I Hate Fairyland, Gert? Gertrude gets mashed up with a fly, and it is haunting. I love the B variant that is done ever so wonderfully as an homage to the Garbage Pail Kids. But Scotty Young kicking butt as always with the C cover. Everything about this incredible, and we're only 2 issues away from the big anniversary issue 50. So hop in for some Fairyland hate.
Next to that is another Silver Sprocket pin that I definitely will be ordering for myself and for Danny in the comments. If you can't smash it, set it on fire.
All for it. Then for you Invincible fans, I'm sure you all saw the season 3 trailer, season 4 trailer with the hint of the Viltrumite War. Well, volume 14 gives us the storyline right after the Viltrumite War, and it is now on FOC. So whether or not we'll see that in season 4 or not, obviously you get a hint of things to come with the slightly heftier version of Adam Eve on the cover. I am really excited for people to finally not only watch, but hopefully read and catch up on Invincible, because this is my favorite era. The Viltrumite War onward is just fire for a series that at no point was not amazing. Then, for you Invincible fans, here is the big one. Not often do you find the opportunity to get a video game at your comic shop. But thanks to Skybound and Lunar Distribution, there are Lunar Distribution exclusive copies of Invincible Versus for the PS5, the PlayStation 5, that are going to be available with comics, prints, and more. These really cool versions are crazy. You're going to want to talk to your local retailer to see what versions or what the prices will be. But here is the contents of the collector's edition. You get a special steel box case. You get a limited edition box. You're going to get a reprint of Invincible #1 as a mini comic, controller guide, DLC packs, all sorts of incredible things. There's the art cards. If you want the standard edition, which will be notably more affordable, there is what you will get there. But it's weird, like you don't often get video games. As a comic shop owner, I don't have the option to get video games. Some comic shops do have distribution that allows for video games, but not many. And this is going to be something exclusive through Lunar Distribution. So I don't even own a PlayStation 5 yet, and I'm going to order a copy of the collector's edition.
So that was what I was going to ask, because, and obviously it's going to be dependent on several things, but do you know what retail on this is going to be?
So retail on that is specifically listed on here as
Please
please
inquire.
inquire. I know what the MSRP is. I don't want to state it because every store is going to be uniquely different on that. And considering the discount, it is not a great discount, which, to be 100% honest, as somebody who used to order video games for other businesses, that's always been the case.
Right.
Generally, small businesses do not get good discounts on video games, DVDs, and other things like that. So I would ask that you do exactly as Lunar says. Please inquire with your local comic shop for pricing on the PlayStation 5 games, but let them know if you
And
want it. 'Cause it's a big expense, but if you know you're going to get it, let your comic shop know.
and that's why I ask. Because sometimes when you have opportunities to get something like this that is truly unique and different, right? Even your shop doesn't know what they're going to have to charge you because it really is going to depend on things like sometimes it comes down to allocation. Sometimes it comes down to, what stores not knowing what their discount will be. So it's super crucial when you have something oddball like a video game that's not often ordered or not often available that you reach out to your store now and say, hey, look, I want it, but if it's going to be more than X dollars, I can't get it, right? Don't say you want it and then say when the store goes, well, it's going to be $100. You go, never mind. No, like let your shop know, hey, if your discount is such that maybe uh, it's going to cost $75, I can only afford to spend $60 on this. So your shop knows not to order it for you once they get all of their details, right? So things like that. This is one of those where it's really important to be super communicative.
Absolutely. I can say for retailers who are watching, if you access your retailer end of Lunar Distribution, you can see the pricing of exactly what you'll be paying for it. And my personal opinion, it is much more affordable than I was expecting. So I would say it is worth considering. But in the same, for those of you guys who are interested, reach out to your local comic shop, see what their thoughts are. And then Lenore is back with a brand new one shot. It's not Baba Yaga, it's the curse of Bibi Yaga. Bees everywhere, bees. I am always amused by the return of Roman Dirge to anything, and this is just always a great character. Brand new Lenore will constantly hold me, and this is one of a series of one shots we will be getting throughout 2026 with our delightful cast of gothic horror characters. Then we get some great graphic novels of classic Golden Age characters, Mandrake the Magician. Later we will see the Phantom and more. Mark Spears Monsters continuing to return with issue number 9. Some absolutely amazing covers there. We have Muppets Noir getting a brand new FOC. We talked about it last week, but it is FOCing this week, so you still have a chance to get your orders in and adjust on that. But let's talk about something really unique. The Marvel Fitness Deck. It has been 50 years since this 1976 classic of Marvel's strength and fitness book came out, giving us all sorts of interesting exercise routines with classic Marvel characters. Let me see if I can open to something particularly fun. So, this was an absolute masterpiece in 1976 publishing and exercise. Because who doesn't want to get Hulk strong? And now, several decades later, 50 years later, that is a crazy thought. Modern Marvel characters like Kamala Khan and Miles Morales will add to our exercise fervor in one of the coolest ways possible, a fitness deck. I've been watching these things promoted to me on social media as I try and get back into shape nonstop. And these fitness decks from various social media sources are way too expensive. 40, 50, $80. This is a $20 item that you support your local comic shop with. And I love the fun of not only does it have just general good workouts that don't require a lot of tools, but the idea of a fitness deck where you can mix it up and, randomly pool what exercises you're doing each day to really shock your body. I am not going to be anybody's fitness coach, but that is an ideal way of working out in my mind. So I will finally retire my 50-year-old fitness guide for the fitness deck on this. I'm excited about that. All sorts of fun this week. News from the Fallout, finally getting a trade paperback. Chris Condon's awesome book there. Nightwing with more beautiful butt covers than you can shake a stick at. We get Ninja Kaiju because it is the year of Kaiju once again. There are those awesome Phantom collected editions that you can now order. And once again, another delightful pin from Silver Sprocket, because who doesn't want their enemies killed? Let's see. For you 2000 AD Rebellion fans, Rogue Trooper getting new collections. We get Blight Valley offered in hardcover, as well as When a GI Dies, all getting you ready for the upcoming Rogue Trooper movie that will hopefully be coming out next year. We have the penultimate issue of Save Now, Space Ghost, Rat City, but one I love, Jim Zub's Skull Kickers. If you want a laugh out loud Dungeons and Dragons style adventure, Jim Zub and Edwin Huang bring it in this amazing book. This collects the first 11 issues for just $18 in the new compact size that we have been loving and adoring. So a really affordable way to dive into the first year's worth of Skull Kickers. So many books on FOC this week. A lot of great things. So please take a moment, scan through everything before you reach out to your local comic shop. Let them know what covers you want, what books you want to try out, what new stories you need to have in your collection. All sorts of fun to be had. Then we have our newest Universal Monsters miniseries coming from Skybound. It is Phantom of the Opera, and this is a powerhouse team. Martin Simmons returning to do art and Tyler Boss on writing for the classic master of Broadway. Phantom of the Opera, always a great tale. I cannot wait to see this operatic take in sequential art form. Any thoughts on Us versus Them, the age of indie music, Kyle? I feel that's your type of book.
It is my type of book. I was actually just reading this solicitation. The I need more time on this one, to be real honest with you, because I don't think this represents the true age of indie music, but it represents an important era when indie, especially New York indie, got a little more punk because Mike Bloomberg. So, Danny in the comments could definitely comment on it, but the stories here come from people who wrote for Vice and Scion and Pitchfork and Red Bull Music and all of these places that were chronicling the new music scene in New York during the early aughts to early teens. And especially that era where, New York music kind of took on this whole, like, why are you eating your pizza with a fork mentality, I guess, with Bloomberg and then de Blasio. So certainly an interesting story. I just wish I had seen this before and could have done a little more research to speak more clearly on what stories are in it, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely something that has my attention, I will say that. All right. Some Vampirella fun, as well as other great manga. One of the last things I want to talk about is Image's White Sky. When an apocalyptic event, unlike any I've ever seen described in comic, film, or television, happens, the world goes white. light just becomes a massive excessive thing, but it is not like Top Cow's eclipse or anything else I can really think of. The sky just becomes white, blotting out and blinding everything. And our protagonists, 5 years after this event, do their best to escape towards the haven they believe San Francisco will be. It's a really interesting concept. It doesn't do enough to truly sell me, but it does have me curious enough that I want to give it a shot. Brand new series from William Harms. You get art by Lee Loffridge and Jean Paul. I cannot pronounce Jean Paul's last name. Mavinga. I apologize instantly, Jean Paul, on that. But it looks beautiful. It definitely has a very interesting and unique concept. I love the sketch cover that I think is very fitting. It almost is a sketch cover I want to leave white based on the title. But intriguing concept, no?
Yeah, I mean, I never got to the end of the Lunar FOC when we were prepping the show. So again, I'm just reading the solicitation as you're reading it, and it does sound very interesting. It almost kind of reminds me a little bit of Rain in terms of it's a post-apocalyptic story from a different perspective, a different kind of post-apocalyptic story than we generally see done, especially by Image. So I'm very interested in seeing how this kicks off. And Jean-Paul Mavinga, I think is how you say that name. The art really does lend itself to this kind of storytelling. So I think it's an interesting concept, and I will definitely be adding it to my list.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Some beautiful Wonder Woman to wrap things up.
I did want to mention the Chrissy Zulo Valentine's Day cardstock variants of Wonder Woman 30. Listen, if you're out there from DC and you're hearing this, and you can get this card done as a Valentine that we can order for children to, take to school, you'll make a lot of money. Thanks.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah, the Chrissy Zulo Valentine's releases that are out February all look absolutely astonishing, and I
Right.
agree.
I can't believe they didn't make a Valentine's Day card set out of this art.
Yeah. Classic art, though, getting homaged. I got to point out one last Silver Sprocket pin and patch. That great Akira homage right there. The "You have been catcalled. What do you do?" Absolutely amazing. All right. And then one more for you Wonder Woman fans. The classic Kelly Sue DeConnick masterpiece with Phil Jimenez, Gene Ha, and Nicola Scott. One of the early Black Label books. Wonder Woman Historia gets an absolute edition. And this is absolutely the most beautiful post-Scott Dunbier absolute edition I've ever seen. Scott Dunbier being the editor at DC and Wildstorm that originally brought us the absolute editions. I hate to say, when he left for IDW to create artist editions, they really just became oversized slipcase collector editions. It wasn't anything special anymore. This looks beautiful with that faux leather binding, that wooden style slipcase. This is something I would be honored to have on my bookshelf, especially with the incredible Eisner Award winning content of that story. It's absolutely great. Like that only by a hair didn't make it into our top 10. But on that note, I think it is time for us to cut to our top 10. All right. We're going to start it off with the honorable mention of Elvira in Monsterland, because I truly believe not enough people read this amazing series of books. It is fun. It is comedic. It is great for everyone, whether you're an old school Elvira fan, you love Universal Monsters, or what have you. This is a great read. Then we hit to our top 10, starting off with Godzilla, Kaisei era number 8, the Uribe cover, with our Spirit Godzilla of Kaisei energy. Number 9, End of Life number 1, the Sebastian Fiamara cover. Once again, when you guys read this, nothing sells this as well as reading this. This is something you just have to take my trust on this, go out on a limb and order. But this is a great book, and when you read it, you're going to laugh so much more at this amazing cover because it has so much more context.
And you can see why I think it was a Constantine book.
I think this image particularly, I see the John Constantine the most. Then, I know Kyle's going to hate me for this, but I love these connecting covers that Caselli has put together for X-Men United. Can we take us off for a second? Yeah, look at that. That is just beautiful. You can see the full cast of the X-Men. Emma Frost leading the way on this. I only wish it was a single cover, and I'm sure Kyle's there with me.
Yeah, no, because people are going to buy the right or the left cover. Most people are going to buy the A. They're not going to buy the B, which is the left cover. So you're going to get one or the other. You're not going to get both. So you're only going to get half of the art. Why? Because Marvel wants you to buy 2 books at $5. That's why. As opposed to doing one wraparound to $6 or something like that, they want you to buy 2 books at $5 so they could take advantage of you. This should be one cover. This should be a wraparound. There's no reason to do this. This is not something that should exist in this form. That said, oh my God, can I buy this piece of art as a poster?
You can.
Like, that's the problem, right? There are so many great ways to use this piece of art that splitting it in half and giving you a boob and a half on the front cover on one side and a half a boob and an eye on the other doesn't make any sense. It's the worst possible use of this piece of art.
I can't disagree, and yet I'm buying both. All right. Spot number 7, the Marvel Fitness book or deck. Look, this is amazing in many different ways. Whether you just want to laugh at the cute and goofy symbolism, look, I mean, they did this 50 years ago, and I still can open to any random page and just die of laughter over some of the unique, exercises. So I can't wait to see this with modern characters like Kamala Khan and Miles Morales, and who knows what else they throw in there. But I love the idea that this is actually a workout thing. This is going to sell to collectors. This is going to sell to people who do want to work out. This is going to sell to Marvel fans. This is going to be a great gift item. This is just an amazing piece. It is rare that I throw something that is not a comic in the top 10. When I do it for a reason. And I think this just has the ability to sell to everyone a million different ways. And again, beats the hell out of the prices of the new trend of fitness decks that we're seeing coming from social media influencers, workout coaches, etc. Then number 6, Powers 25, issue number 6. That kind of worked out. Number 6 was issue number 6. Stan Sakai comes on as a guest for Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Avon Oeming's great cover there with our Powers agents. And I love that you get the death of Usagi Yojimbo there. In the classic style that Stan always does, when Stan kills off a character, he normally gives the little cute skull word bubble. So just awesome piece there. I love the insider joke. I'm certain this has probably nothing to do with the interior of the books, but loving Stan, as almost all of us do, I have to pick this up. It's great. At number 5, Florida Hippopotamus Cocaine Massacre, the Mirka Andolfo cover. As if the insanity of the title and the content didn't do enough to sell you, Mirka knows how to sell a comic cover. Beautiful piece there. Look at how crazy those hippopotamus eyes are. Kyle not loving it. Kyle particularly not loving this. Batman The Dark Knight Returns. 40 years later, it makes itself onto the top 10 with a brand new Jim Lee image. Look, I, like Kyle and so many others out there, wish Jim would focus on finishing Hush 2. I really wish I could get more interiors from Jim and he would get them out in a timely manner. But this cover was not phoned in. Look, sometimes Jim does phone things in, but this is the reason why I love Jim Lee right here, is when he does things like this where it's not phoned in. This is a masterpiece piece of artwork. It is beautiful. It epitomizes the story that Frank Miller and Klaus Johnson bring to The Dark Knight 40 years ago in a single image. And I hate to say it this way, better than anything Frank has ever drawn. It is just beautiful. I have pissed off, I guarantee, half of the fans watching this show right now with those statements. But beautiful, beautiful cover that Jim Lee has done for this.
You're right. Jim Lee definitely didn't phone this in. But I would much rather him not phone stuff on stuff that we need to have. This doesn't need to exist. So use this piece of art on something else, on a product that maybe should exist, as opposed to the 97,000th reprint of The Dark Knight Returns #1.
All right. Joshua Middleton, who we do not get to see enough artwork from, one of my favorite artists out of England, returns with Universal Monsters Phantom of the Opera. This is a beautiful, beautiful cover right here that definitely I think will sell people on it before they even catch the iconic names of Tyler Boss writing and Martin Simmons doing art. That trifecta with the Josh Middleton cover means I'm 110% buying this.
I'm just trying not to sing.
All right. Invincible versus the PS5 Collector's Edition bundle exclusive through Lunar Distribution. Look, whether you're a video game fan or just a hardcore Invincible collector, this is going to be a must-have. It will have an exclusive reprint of Invincible #1. And for anybody who's ever gotten one of those rare mini comics in a DVD or a video game, you know that the aftermarket value on those years later skyrockets. Invincible is one of the hottest things out right now. That season 4 trailer was unbelievable. And if you thought that was hot, wait till you see it, because the Viltrumite War is one of the grandest moments in modern indie comics. Now you can get this super hot item. You can have your own war, the Viltrumites, battle it out as Mark, as Omni-Man, or any of the characters from Invincible, and get all these other limited edition cool items. Video game fans are going to have to go to comic shops to get this, which means that they're not going to get it in the quantity they want. Be smart, talk to your local comic shop, see what they're going to price it at, and pre-order it, because you could probably flip this for a fortune, but if you're just adding it to your collection, you will not regret it. Finally, it always ends up here. I really try to fight this from being #1, but it earns its spot every time it ends up there. Absolute Batman in the #1 spot again with Absolute Batman #17, that beautiful Nick Dragotta cover featuring our brand new first appearance of the Absolute Poison Ivy. I mean, what's not to say about this? Like, Dr. Christie brought it up at the beginning. Absolute Batman, that just, it doesn't stop selling. This is a masterpiece. I'm going to order more of this than any Absolute title I have ordered to date, including any issue individually of Absolute Batman. And I guarantee you, I am still going to regret that I didn't order more when I sell out.
Yeah, there's no reason this shouldn't be #1 every week.
No. So
even on weeks it doesn't come out.
Oh yeah.
Like, it should be #1 on weeks it doesn't come out. Like, that's how big this book is right now. And so there's and when you talk about Absolute Poison Ivy, like, Absolute Joker was crazy, but it's still the Joker. This is Poison Ivy. Right? Like, this is a whole other level of connection to Batman. So I think this is going to play better than that one ever did.
Yeah. I can't tell you the amount of customers I personally have that are ordering multiple copies of this. And even customers I would never expect. I only want the A cover. I just want a reader copy, but I want 3 copies of the A cover this time. Like, I love it. It's exciting to see that collector mentality come in with also the same people who are not purely collecting. They're all reading this. Even the most hardcore CGC, I'm going to slab my book, never having been touched, is buying a copy to read. Absolute Batman. I cannot thank Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta enough for making this series that sells to everyone. It drags people who've never bought a comic into the comic shop. It drags the flippers and the speculators in to buy multiple copies. It drives the readers insane getting all of this and talking it up like it is the hottest water cooler comic to discuss ever. Absolute Batman just hits every way that it can. All-star book. Absolutely amazing. My store manager is going to yell at me because I constantly say Absolute Wonder Woman is better, but I can't deny it. Absolute Batman is on fire.
There are at least 2 Absolute books that are better, but none of them sell better.
Yeah. All right. We have officially ran over, and Kyle needs some rest. So what is on the EXP later?
Kyle's just no, Kyle doesn't need rest. Kyle's just tired of being angry at Marvel. It's a very long show when I spend the whole time angry at Marvel. So what's coming up on the EXP? There's a ton of great stuff. Tonight at 7, Nick has the original art show. He has at least 2, I think 3, maybe even 4 published covers available, including a Will Conrad Conan where he has like 37 abs. And Dale Eagles from Shazam, I believe. Super cool. And then Nancy will have her show, Nancy McCann from Comics Unlimited, tonight at 9. We'll have her show. It'll be vintage and requests, obviously. That's what she always does, and it's always a good time. I bought so much from her last week. Anyway, then listen, if you're in the world right now, there is a ton of really, really cold weather happening to most of us. Mathias isn't in the real world. He's in California, where cold weather is still the 60s, whereas here it's -7 right now. So I am going to be doing a bunch of live streaming this weekend here on The Experience, just so you guys have something to watch while it's cold out, if you're not watching like the Lord of the Rings extended cut because you can't leave your house. So I will be doing a bunch of live streaming here with some guests, but I will be back Sunday night with a live sale. The Producer's Live Sale. I have to find a co-host for it, but I have 3 boxes that I've brought in, plus more boxes in the car that I could bring in, of vintage back issues that will be $2. So we'll be doing a $2 sale plus some really cool keys here over the course of the weekend. And then Monday, we just got a text from Rex. He may have to do the Comic Collectibles show on Monday from his house. That's how cold it's supposed to get in New Jersey. So just be prepared. Rex will be here Monday. Then Monday at 11 o'clock Eastern, we'll have Best Coast Comics with Big B and Bronze. I know they were going to do a live sale last week. They may have moved that to this week. I haven't heard. Tuesday, we will have Comic Industry Insiders Live, Writer versus Artists, Minute to Skim It with Miss Jen, tomorrow's Comics Tuesday with Miss Jen, and Kicking It with Henri. Then on Wednesday, hopefully, well, we'll definitely have Comic Collectibles with Rex, but hopefully we'll be debuting a brand new show, at least new here on The Experience, Wednesday evening, that I'm very excited about, but I've got to confirm that today as well. So lots of stuff happening. Lots of stuff happening. So we will we'll just keep our eyes on the sky and see what the weather's doing. And if, depending on the weather, we will be live. So we'll see everybody around this weekend.
I love it. All right. Remember, get your orders to your local comic shop ASAP for this Monday, January 26th. And we'll be back next week with even more books on Final Order Cutoff.